Hey, Raising Athletes podcast fans, Kirsten here, and I have to share my new favorite hydration secret with you. Corvives Hydrate in pink lemonade. If you're looking for the ultimate hydration boost, this is it. Corvives Hydrate is an NSF certified for sport, trusted by 4 Major League Baseball teams and 3 military bases. With 6 grams of pure organic cane sugar, it ensures you absorb all the electrolytes you need. And get this, it has 3 times the electrolytes and 4 times less sugar than those leading brands. Plus, it's developed using the World Health Organization's standards for oral rehydration solutions, making it the equivalent of a bag of IV fluids. Best of all, there are no artificial dyes or sweeteners. It's so perfect for the entire family. You can drink it any time of day, before, during, or after workouts or sports. So say goodbye to sugary juices and hello to superior hydration with Corvives Hydrate in pink lemonade. Visit corvive.com. That's CORVIVE.com. And use promo code Kirsten. That's KIRSTEN for 30% off your order. Try it today and feel the difference. Hello, welcome to Raising Athletes. My name is Kirsten Jones. I'm a peak performance and sports parenting coach, the co-founder of Raising Athletes, and the author of the book, Raising Empowered Athletes, which has just reached its 1-year mark. We here at Raising Athletes love talking to people who are out there trying new things, going after their dreams, chasing it, sometimes catching it, sometimes not. And about a year ago, we started this series talking to the actual athletes who are reaching and achieving their goals. And so today, my guest is somebody's in the middle of reached a pinnacle, is going to play college football, but is at the front end of that experience. So Stuart Blake, I'm so excited to have you on. Can't wait to hear all about your adventure.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Nice. Okay, so let's start with, I like to start at the beginning. Where did you grow up? What sports did you play growing up? When did you find or fall in love with football? Kind of tell us your journey.
So I'm from Jenkintown, Pennsylvania. It's a small suburb right outside of Philadelphia. Um, I grew up playing soccer, pretty much my whole life up until my junior year in high school. But I was kind of normal, athletic kid, played like different sports, baseball, lacrosse, tennis, kind of all over the place. But I didn't really find football until my sophomore year. The math teacher at my high school had asked me to come kick for the football team. Being like a soccer player was probably the easiest option for him. But uh, yeah, that's kind of where it started. And then I just took it from there. I wanted to be good at it because I didn't really want to half do it. That's always something that my dad told me is if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right. So yeah, he started getting me some kicking lessons, and it kind of went from there.
That's a great story, particularly nowadays. A lot of kids specialize super early, and we talk a lot about the importance of playing multiple sports. Did you play club soccer, or did you play year round, or what was the club or the soccer
Yeah,
situation?
so I played club soccer at a pretty high level since I want to say ninth, 10th grade. Especially kind of after freshman year, it really started to pick up for club. Just doing more tournaments, some more like national notoriety stuff, but just kind of a bigger platform. And I think the goal was ultimately to play college soccer, but then I kind of realized that it's a lot harder to play college soccer here in the States than it is to actually play college football. Um, so with knowing that, I think I kind of had to make some switches. But yeah, I'm definitely happy with the choice I made. But yeah, definitely high soccer. A lot of soccer growing up. Pretty much since I was like 4 or 5.
And what about football? Have you always been a football fan? Is that something you and your family watches together? What teams do you follow?
Uh, it's kind of weird. I was the soccer kid growing up. I wore soccer jerseys all the time, and I would always kind of have the fight of saying soccer is better than football. But being from the United States, it's a like it's not type of situation. But yeah, coming from a small school, there's probably 45 kids in my grade, so kind of everybody did everything. But you know, there was a lot of controversy of getting a soccer team up to school, saying that it would take away from the football program and take just like numbers away. But we ultimately ended up getting a soccer team. And I ended up playing on both the soccer team and the football team. So I think it worked out. But yeah, there was always a bunch of kind of controversy around football and soccer at my high school.
What position did you play in soccer?
I was a goalie,
Okay.
so I played
Okay, so
goalie for
you were used to booting the ball then. That was what you were good at.
yeah, no, that was kind of the position I played for, I'd say high school. Yeah,
Okay.
that's when I kind of started to take it a little bit more seriously, but I was kind of all over the place when I was younger.
So did you start going to when you decided, so this teacher introduces you to football or saying, hey, you could do this in college potentially. What was the plan? Like how did you approach that? I mean, to get recruited, like when did you start even thinking that might be an option to play in college?
Um, so like I said, I started to do some like kicking, coaching, training type of stuff. And the guy I'd been working with, he's like, you're pretty good. You could probably play in college. So I kind of took that and ran with it. There's a couple different camps and just like other kicking coaches that are more um like well known that I started to do. I went to a ranking camp the summer before my junior year, and I had gotten ranked, and then I was kind of like, wow, I could definitely do this now. And then just that kind of like the training and everything kept carrying and stacking, and I was getting better and better, just kind of as I got older and as I got more experience with kicking, and then it just kind of got to a point where I um, could really do it. So
So
I guess that's
ranking
kind of how
camp
that went.
for people who don't know anything about like how to get recruited, there's a lot of parents that are listening that may be saying, hey, we want to follow in his footsteps. Like what do you need to be ranked to be? You're playing at Michigan, how did you get on their radar? Was it just purely the number that you were ranked, or how did that come about?
So my situation was a little bit different. I actually transferred my senior year to a pretty big, well-known football school in Baltimore. It's St. Francis Academy. But they play a national football schedule, so they'll play people from all over the country, like the top 25 teams. But they are well known, and it's more well-known football, like bigger football. So I kind of took that approach. I'm probably the best head coach in the country, definitely in the country, but he had he had really great connections. So I had taken that, but yeah, I went to just how the ranking camps work pretty much is it's you and I don't know, 600 other kids. Um, and then obviously it's your age group. So you have like, I was a class of 2024, so it was, there's probably 1,000 kickers in the class of 2024. And then they kind of see you kick. It's based off of field goals and kickoffs. So they take your like your field goal numbers, how much you make, and then they take your kickoff, they take the distance and the hang time, and they kind of just put you in the places that you think that they think you should go. And they rank it off of stars, so you could be a 5 star, a 4.5 star, a 4 star, 3.5 star, and a 3 star. But it's kind of just a kind of like a hierarchy of kickers for your class. But obviously the kids that are higher up in the 5 star ranking get more college interest, especially from the bigger schools, and it kind of just goes down like as you get lower and lower, you kind of get the college level just decreases, I guess. But yeah, definitely the higher you are, the more interest you get, but you can still get interest from big schools at any level. Like I think the highest I got ranked was a 4.5, but obviously I'm at Michigan now, so I think it helps, but it's not like end all be all of the kicking your kicking career.
So I love this position that you're in, being a kicker, and I've had a couple kickers on the show because it's so mental, right? Like it's a beautiful opportunity to be the hero or the goat, not in a good way. So you have to be able to be in the right mindset at all times. So what do you do to work on your inner game to be ready for the moment? Like how do you approach the mental side of what you do?
Um, I like to think of it as kind of everything that I do in my life revolves and it kind of ultimately goes to one thing. So I really try to take pride and just super specific with, what I eat, how much sleep I get, just like kind of routines, just down to what I do in the morning when I wake up to how I study, to how I eat, to how I go to sleep, just everything, just kind of to optimize my performance. And there's a lot of stuff like mentally how that ties into, because if you get into a routine, I think it can only benefit you, and especially with kicking, because there's so many like little things that you do, whether it's, when you take your steps and then you go and then you get comfortable, and it's kind of just everything that you want to do. It's very personal. Um, but yeah, it's very important just to kind of stay on track with what you do. Don't have too much deviation just in everyday life. But yeah, it's just kind of just stay consistent, stay what you know how to do, and then just kind of mentally be able to be prepared for what you want to do.
So when you come into a situation that, I mean, yes, you've been kicking a soccer ball for a long time, but I would assume kicking a football is a little bit different. What what are you telling yourself as you go into? I'm going to be against 1,000 other guys. Like, what's your mindset about even just going to those camps to get recruited?
There's a couple different things. Definitely the first one, no matter who you are, where you're from, how good you are, you got to think you're the best person there. I think that is definitely something, especially in sports, that a lot of people take for granted. If you don't have self-confidence, then you don't really have anything. I mean, that's the best thing about sports is the whole world could hate you, but if you believe in yourself, then you can do some great things. So I think that's definitely one thing. You got to have a little bit of an ego. Definitely, definitely believe in yourself and think that you can do what you want to do. And just another thing is just stick to what you know. Don't try to do anything different just because, there's a change or, stuff gets hard. Like for example, a lot of people that I know, they change stuff for like a bigger field goal, a longer field goal, but just sticking to what you've been doing and what you've done is probably the best thing that you can do. But yeah, just always go back to your training, always envision and picture the best, but yeah, just believe in yourself and stick to what you know, and then you'll do great things.
I think a lot of it sounds like a lot of it's routine. Then you have a certain routine, you're setting up a certain way, you're practicing a certain way, you're visualizing a certain way. And that's what you're saying is leading to your success. When you're in the moment, what are you thinking? Or is that the point? You're not, you're just executing.
Um, I think it's kind of a mix of both. Obviously, you don't want to think bad thoughts. You don't want to go on the field and tell yourself, "Oh, this is a 53-yard field goal. I'm gonna miss this." Like you gotta tell yourself, "It's gonna go in. I'm gonna go. It's gonna be good. Everything's gonna work." Um, but I got told by a coach, when in my recruiting, in camps, they said all you have to do is just go 1 for 1. So it doesn't matter if you've missed 3 field goals on the day and then you have a fourth one. Just forget about the three before. just go one for one. And another thing is goldfish memory. So you just
Mm-hmm.
gotta be able to forget easily. Um, but yeah, just tell yourself that it's gonna go well and that you're gonna make the kick, or just envision it and stick to what you know, stick to, your steps and your swing and everything, and it'll be great.
So through your recruiting process, could you talk again? People are super curious to hear, like, how did it go for you? Sounds like you were a little bit different than some people, but I think I tell people everybody's recruiting journey is different, and you can't be looking around and seeing, well, he's already got 5 offers or he's already locked in. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Maybe can you give us a peek behind the curtain? How many schools? What was your focus? What were you most focused on as you were looking at schools and programs?
So obviously the best fit. I think the best fit is the most important part when it comes to schools. The question my dad always used to ask the coaches, when he would go on visits with me or just talk to coaches, anything like that. If he got hurt this third day he was here, was he going to be in a good spot, or is he going to like where he is? And will the school and everybody around him be able to like push him to be the best if that were to happen? And I think that's very important, and I resonate with that. You just gotta want to be where you are, right? If I was at a school that I didn't like, but the football was good, there's only 50% of the battle because you're not just a athlete, you're a student athlete. So there's just a couple of things that tie in with that. Just important key parts of the recruiting process. Just get a list of schools that you think that you can perform at or play at. Really kind of show interest in them, and just really push towards just building relationships with coaches and other things like that, just to kind of get them high on your list, but also get yourself high on the list.
So what schools? How did you narrow it down, or how many interested programs did you have, and how many were you going after?
So I had probably 6 schools that I could have played at. It was a little bit different for me. I had uh, couple on majority of them were big schools, but um, I had just kind of all over the NCAA hierarchy. So I had like big Power Five schools. I had some smaller Group of Five schools. I had some FCS schools, and I had like D2 and D3 schools that were just in case everything all went wrong. Just to have a backup plan. But yeah, so I had a couple of the schools that were smaller. Just that I had been getting through recruiting, just through the camps and stuff that I had gone to, and just performing at their camps that they hold. But then when I transferred to my school senior year, my head coach had kind of helped me get in touch with a couple of other schools, especially bigger schools, because they send a lot of kids to a lot of big colleges. So he kind of helped me out with that, and that's ultimately how I got to Michigan. But I think if you can get to like, coaches really do matter. And the term, it's not about like what you know, it's who you know. Definitely is true. And I think I'm realizing that obviously going through high school, but now I'm kind of getting college and seeing a lot of people around me, get jobs and internships and stuff. But it's really, really, really important to have good connections with coaches, because they'll ultimately be the people that really get you to where you are, and they'll really they put in the word. But yeah, that's kind of how that went.
Yeah, I always say, you got to pass the broken leg test. So what if I break my leg? Will I still be happy here? Is this where I want to be, regardless of whether football's in play or not? And then, yeah, what's the opportunity for me to connect after I graduate, hopefully, that I go on to graduate, and then I have opportunities to use my degree and my connections within the alumni network to get to where I want to be and whatever's next. What So you've been there now a couple weeks. How long have you been on campus?
I've been here since June 3rd. That was when I moved
June
in.
3rd. Oh, a couple months.
Yeah, so it's kind of been the summer.
Okay, so all summer. So tell us about what they've had you been doing. How many other kickers are there? How many on the team? And like what's your average day like as you get ready for preseason?
So right now there is four kickers, including me, in the room, which is a pretty high number. But so they're at camp right now. They only take two kickers to camp, which is pretty much the whole month of August. Uh,
Mm.
so it was the top two guys. So I unfortunately didn't get selected. So right now I'm kind of on a little bit more of a normal schedule. I'm taking summer classes, so I have class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I have kind of like a study table on Tuesday and Thursday. But a couple weeks ago, before camp had started, we were doing just summer workouts in a kind of summer circuit. So pretty much that was Monday to Friday. We had 6 a.m. lifts every day, and then on Wednesday and Saturday we would have practice. We called it team skills, but it was kind of a little bit of a practice, and then kind of um, just your I guess player um, group. I'm trying to look position some more
Yeah, by
your
position.
position.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, then you
positional
go and
training.
kind of just get working with them. But yeah, that's kind of how that went. And then I'd still have class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So kind of for about a month and a half ish, I had some pretty good insight on how the season and just kind of regular life would be as a student athlete, having class and then having to wake up super early for lifts and then just kind of everything with that. But that's pretty much how that summer's been going.
So what percentage of the guys made it to camp? Are there many others that are like you that are didn't get to go to the actual
Uh,
preseason camp?
yeah, so the final number, I think it was 120 people that they took to camp. And I think on the team or the people that were in the building, there was 138, 142. But
Okay.
majority of the guys are specialists. Because there's only two per position for specialists. It's two kickers, two punters, and two long snappers. Um, so that's kind of how that goes. Unfortunately, there are a couple of guys in the specialist room who don't get taken, but yeah, majority of the scholarship guys get taken for regular positions just because of depth and just numbers with that.
So what's the mentality? Would they want to redshirt you, or is it just keep working? We may need you, or what kind of coaching are you getting about your situation?
For right now, being a freshman, so the way that the kicking room's looking right now, there was a redshirt sophomore. There was we took a transfer this year. He's got 2 years left. And then there was um another kicker. I think he's got 2 years left also. So they're probably gonna redshirt me this year. I would hope they would, just so I don't burn a year of eligibility. But yeah, so it's just kind of all about timing. They're just telling me just to keep working. And then when I have my opportunities, just make my kicks and make sure I keep my opportunities open. But yeah, just keep working, keep getting stronger and better. Just growing connection with the guys. And then just kind of wait for your chance.
I'm sure you know the story. It's a famous one, but one of your fellow alum, Tom Brady, who was seventh on the depth chart, right? And he said, every
Yeah,
single snap I got in practice was as if I was going to the Super Bowl, right? So every moment when you're making the most of it, giving it all you got, and you just never know. You may get tapped on the shoulder tomorrow, right? And that could be your moment. which is exciting. Yeah.
Definitely is a kind of a environment where you really have to take everything that you get for granted. You really got to make sure that you um perform.
So you're being outkicked by inches, by feet, by the guys that are ahead of you. I mean, is there a huge difference in what they can do and what you can do right now?
Um, yeah, I'd say definitely the top guy right now. He's a transfer, so he's a junior. He had some pretty good seasons before coming here. But he's a great guy. He's got a leg on him, but yeah, he's definitely ahead of me.
How far
And
is he
then
kicking it?
the second he's he's probably he can go back to 60 easily. I think he was telling me the other day he had like a 61 at
Wow.
practice into the wind. But yeah, no, he's good. And then the second he's good. I think we're pretty close leg strength wise. They've definitely got like a couple yards on me just because they've been here lifting and they're a little bit stronger than I am. But yeah, I think just kind of, especially with age, they've just been doing it that much longer than I have at my level. So I think that's definitely important. But yeah, I think
Are they
as
asking you?
separate.
Sorry, are they
Okay.
asking you to gain weight? I know obviously getting stronger is high on the roster, but is it like they wanting you to gain a bunch of obviously muscle, but also like physical weight too?
Yeah, definitely. So it's all about like functional weight. So I came in at 168 pounds. I think I'm 180 now. So I've gained about 10-ish pounds. But yeah, it's just how much weight can you like explode and use when I kick. So they're definitely on me about getting stronger and just keep progressing and making sure everything that I'm doing is beneficial for what I need to be doing.
I would assume flexibility is huge as well as squatting strength, but like, are you doing sprints or what other, doing high twitch fiber workouts in order to gain leg speed, or what are the biggest ways you gain leg speed?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different workouts that we do. It's part of our workout circuit and just like machines and stuff. That definitely helps us with like functional strength and our little muscles. We do a lot of kind of like hip flexibility. Just a lot of flexibility is definitely important, especially being a kicker. Being
Mm-hmm.
able to get your leg kind of above your head and just have good hip mobility and just kind of quad, hamstring, glute, all that. Because once they all are fluid and they stack together, it's gonna be great. But yeah, so it's just kind of a lot of small muscle stuff. We do sprints with our workouts. We do a bunch of different variations of kind of just body weight exercises like plyometric type of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of different kind of elastic. We have a lot of bands, do a lot of band work, but just stuff that you wouldn't really think helps ultimately, but it definitely does.
What do they have you doing anything like yoga or Pilates or anything like that with core strength?
Um, we do. So yeah, we just do like planks and stuff. There's a couple of different exercises that we do to kind of sneak in with conditioning and just kind of stuff like yeah, like core work. But there's a couple yoga classes that are optional that they do. So there's like a hot yoga place here in Ann Arbor that sponsors the
Mm-hmm.
team, and they kind of can get us in for free in a couple days. But yeah, it's kind of what we're doing. But that's really it. It's kind of some hot yoga maybe once a week, and then we do a bunch of core stuff and stability stuff with our workouts.
So, what's the best thing that's happened, or that you've done, or that you get to do? What excites you the most about being there?
Um, I that's a hard one. I think really like if I sit back and like realize kind of where I am and what I'm doing is like I'm very lucky to be where I am. A lot of people, even just in college football, that get the chance to play college football, ultimately they all want to be here. I think like they tell us that a lot is there would be people all over the country that would die to be where I am. And I think I take that for granted sometimes, but I've had moments where I'm like, wow, I'm really at Michigan playing football. And I think it hasn't really set in yet. I think once the season comes around and I'm on the field in front of 110,000 people, I think that's gonna change it a little bit. But yeah, I definitely think just kind of being involved in the culture and just in the facilities and in the training rooms, working out and kind of just doing everything like with that. Um, it's definitely kind of been probably the best parts of it so far.
How would you describe the team culture? Like, is it a great positive? Like, you get in there and you just want to work out all day because everybody's
Oh,
so into
it's
it?
yeah, it's amazing. The motto from last year, Michigan versus everybody, I think that's very still in place. Um, I think a lot of people, especially after last year, we got to follow up the national championship, but we had a lot of guys leave to the NFL. But um, yeah, I think a lot of people overlook us, and we know that. We hear it all the time. We hear it on TV. We see it in the rankings and the preseason AP poll and everything with that. The recruiting classes, everybody's kind of putting us down, but we just kind of use that as fuel for the fire. And we're excited. We got a big game week 2 that I think is going to show a lot of people what we're about and what we can do, and especially with the playoff switch this year, and then the division switch, getting some new teams out west coming into the division definitely is going to be interesting. Different talent and just kind of different playing field. A lot of high caliber games. But yeah, everything's definitely top notch when it comes to the culture and the facility. Everybody loves football. They love Michigan. They love proving people wrong, and I think that's kind of all what we are wanting to do for the year.
So, what advice would you give to your 12-year-old self to see to your
Um,
point about getting to be where you are right now? Like, a lot of times what happens is we have something happen in life and we're like, yeah, everybody's doing it. And then we look back and we realize, wow, can you just think back to you being 12 and watching a Michigan game if you happen to catch one on TV and think, oh yeah, in 6 years, Stuart, you're going to be there. Like, who would have thought, right?
I think um definitely it's this is hard because I want to say start early, but at the same time, I feel like starting early could take some passion out of it like further down the line. But just have fun with what you do. Um, there's a point in life where you got to get serious about stuff, but there's plenty of time for that once you get kind of into high school and stuff where you can really find out what you want to do. But just have fun. Definitely, take stuff like moderately seriously. Don't do it like half, but do it full. But just have fun. Try different things. Um, but yeah, just I think having fun is probably the most important part.
Yeah. And you got to enjoy it at every part because there is going to be a lot of hard work, and as sexy it is as it is to be in amazing facilities and be part of an amazing program and get all the free swag you want, there's still a lot of early mornings and late nights and not necessarily getting to play or go to camp, and I'm sure that's all you want, right, is to be there with the guys and be getting ready for the first game. So I would assume that puts a little fire in your belly to keep moving hard.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially with college football, the one thing that people don't really see is you can train your whole 4 years, you can do everything that everybody else is doing, and you can never see the field. And that's just kind of how
Yeah.
it is. Um, and it's really unfortunate to look at it that way, but it's completely a possibility. But yeah, don't take anything for granted. Everything that you do, make sure you do it with a purpose, and make sure you do it to get better. Because if you're not doing it with purpose or to get better, then there's just people are gonna pass you, and you're never really gonna get your time to show what you can do and what you've worked hard for.
I know you just got there, so this probably is out of left field, but I'm sure there's a lot of discussion around it. But what do you feel like NIL? Obviously, we talked about the conferences changing and everything, and you said some guys went to the league. Like, do you feel like NIL is impacted too? Does it feel different? I know you don't have anything to compare it to, but like, does that feel like it's a big buzzword within the team because there's guys that are getting paid, or is everybody getting something, or how does that work there?
Um, so I'm kind of seeing it from a different view. So I'm a PWO, so I'm a preferred walk-on, so I'm not on scholarship, but majority, so I'm not really getting paid yet. Um, the
Yeah.
only way for you to get paid from NIL typically is you play. So if you play, you get paid. That's kind of how it is in the NFL. But the kids on scholarship, they're getting some money. So obviously, just kind of you get told that with recruiting that, there's some stipend that you get just to kind of live, we're getting apartments and stuff. But yeah, ultimately it's a lot of money like on paper, but once you kind of break it down and see what it's covering with like tuition and housing and just stuff like that. Um, they're getting money, but they're not getting like insane money. But yeah, NIL really isn't. Um, I don't want to say it's not talked about because it is, but people don't really brag about it. At least in the parking lot, I know some schools they have like sports cars and everything. I mean, everybody here has a truck or like an Escalade, so it's not too flashy, but it's it's nice. But yeah, I think it's a business now. I think everybody's realizing that college football is a business. And especially now that we can get paid, that I guess that means that we're professionals in hindsight. So it is kind of a
Mhm.
profession now. So it is a lot more serious. And if you want to get paid a lot of money, you got to be really good, or you got to be really good at your job. So yeah, I think just ultimately, if you can perform, you get money. And if you are not performing, you don't get as much money. But I think just kind of the whole site of NIL is great. I think even though a lot of people bash on it or hate on it, I think it's probably one of the best things that's happened for college football, especially now that I'm kind of in the mix and seeing it. It's definitely a good thing.
So I assume your goal though is to get a degree. Do you have any idea what you want to major in? What's your focus academically?
So right now, I'm a communications major. I do want to get a degree. That's kind of half the reason I'm here. Especially coming to Michigan with other options. First off, I grew up a Michigan fan my whole life. My dad had lived in Michigan a couple times, but it's kind of always been what I've known. And yeah, so I lived in Ann Arbor in preschool. Um, and it's just kind of always what I've known. And once I had the chance to come to Michigan, I could not live with myself if I turned it down. Just because the way I see it is best case scenario, I go to the NFL. The worst case scenario is I leave with a Michigan degree. And that's also the best case scenario because you can do a lot of things with a Michigan degree. But yeah, I definitely want to complete school here. Not sure 100% on if I'm gonna keep my communications degree. I'll have to see kind of how that goes and if I have any interest switch. But for right now, I'm definitely focused on finishing school out here.
I too am a Michigan fan. I was actually born in Ann Arbor. My dad was doing his residency at Michigan at the medical school. So I only lived there till I was 2, but I grew up with my parents hosting Michigan Ohio State parties every year. So I'm a huge fan of Go Blue. So it's super exciting that I'll know somebody on the roster now. So we'll be cheering for you. I just want to end with one last question that we ask all of our guests. How would you finish this statement? The best athletes I know do this. So how said another way, I hear what you're saying. Said another way is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And is that easy for you, or has that been a challenge? Yeah. Well, I am excited to see what happens over the course of the next maybe 4 or 5 years, right? I too started off redshirting and ended up transferring to William and Mary. And then, by my junior, senior year was actually a pretty decent volleyball player. I too started off not really playing much volleyball. I was more of a basketball player. So it's delaying gratification. And we are in a generation of we want what we want it right now. But you being willing to do the work, being willing to focus academically, do what's asked of you, and keep waiting, patiently, but aggressively for your moment. That moment will come and you'll be ready. And because of exactly what you just said, focusing on all the details. So when you're ready to step into the light, you're like, yeah, I've been working for this for, all my life, really, not just about football, but about how you do everything. So thank you so much for making the time to be here, and appreciate you sharing your story and your journey. There's a lot of parents and a lot of athletes out there, like you said, this is a dream come true. Less than 5% will get to play Division I football, right? So it is very rarefied air, and it's such a special opportunity. So congratulations. Yeah. All right. Parents, check this out. Send it on to friends, and please like and share. We're always trying to do better. Let us know how this is, any feedback you have, and anybody else you'd like to hear on, because we always love talking to the athletes, hearing directly from them. It's got to be their dream. It's an inside job. If you want to do this, it's a lot of hard work. So all good. Take care. Bye.
Hey, Raising Athletes podcast fans, Kirsten here, and I have to share my new favorite hydration secret with you. Corvives Hydrate in pink lemonade. If you're looking for the ultimate hydration boost, This is it. Corvives Hydrate is an NSF certified for sport, trusted by 4 Major League Baseball teams and 3 military bases. With 6 grams of pure organic cane sugar, it ensures you absorb all the electrolytes you need. And get this, it has 3 times the electrolytes and 4 times less sugar than those leading brands. Plus, it's developed using the World Health Organization's standards for oral rehydration solutions, making it the equivalent of a bag of IV fluids. Best of all, there are no artificial dyes or sweeteners. It's so perfect for the entire family. You can drink it any time of day, before, during, or after workouts or sports. So say goodbye to sugary juices and hello to superior hydration with Corvives Hydrate in pink lemonade. Visit corvive.com. That's CORVIVE.com. And use promo code Kirsten. That's KIRSTEN for 30% off your order. Try it today and feel the difference.